Welcome to Rage, Grace, and Everything in Between. This is our unfiltered conversation about navigating neurodivergence and every stage of menopause at the same time.
Hi, I'm Michelle, postmenopausal ADHD.
And I'm Angel, perimenopausal and ADHD. We're not here as experts. We're just two neurodivergent midlife women figuring it out in real time.
If you've ever felt alone, broken, or like you're losing your mind, you're not. You're unmasking, you're changing, you're becoming.
If you're a neurodivergent woman in midlife,
or someone who loves one,
this is your permission slip, your exhale, your reminder that you're allowed to take up space.
So grab your beverage of choice, lower your expectations, and settle in. Welcome to the conversation. Let's begin. Rage, grace, and everything in between.
We are not medical professionals. The information talked about here should not be taken as medical advice. We encourage you to do your own research and consult with your healthcare providers regarding any treatment options we discuss.
So this week, we continue our deep dive into the body systems and how they are affected during perimenopause, along with the intersection with neurodivergence. Last week, we talked about the limbic system, which affects our moods and our emotions. Poor Angel was crying this morning as we were watching a music video. It was very touching to experience her level of emotions.
I'm fine with it. Even talking about it made me cry.
This week, we're going to talk about the cardiovascular system, and which involves the heart and the heart muscles and the vessels that move blood, and the autonomic system, which runs the unconscious systems like our heartbeat and our breathing, and the nervous system, which operates the electric signals that control all of the communication between our body and our brains. And this is by no means a comprehensive analysis of these systems, but we should be able to give a bird's eye view of at least what's going on in our bodies during this tumultuous time. So I'm actually feeling a little tingly all over, and it's not just menopausal symptoms this time. I just came in from the schwitz, and the shower water was hot. The pool was a cool 50 degrees.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So it wasn't too cold to go in. And I was able to go in even if it was just for a few seconds at a time. I really miss doing that. And I think we need to schedule more of that in our lives. I love that euphoria that you feel after you go in the hot and then you go in the cold and you come out and you're just like, oh. And I was there about 2 hours and I did 3 plunges. And that last one, I came out and I had to just kind of hold still for a minute because I had that, that lightheadedness and like that tunnel vision and just that blissed out feeling,
Yeah, I love the schwitz. I always feel better after.
Yeah, and not to brag, but I think all of that ashwagandha is really starting to help because nice. I got 100% on both of my first assignments, that online class I'm taking through Central Michigan, and I aced all of the quizzes too. So woot woot.
Oh, you should brag.
Yeah, people still say woot woot, right? Or should I say like skibbity something?
I have no idea what any of that means.
Okay, I'll skip it.
Racing hearts and frazzled nerves.
So we're talking about 3 systems, but really they're all connected, and it's really hard to sort out which symptoms are a dysfunction of which system. We're going to be talking about how the hormonal fluctuations affect our heartbeat, which can affect our stability, which can increase stress, which releases more cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which affects our autonomic nervous system, disrupts the signals between our bodies and our brains, which is the nervous system. So, as if bleeding every month for 40 odd years isn't insulting enough, perimenopause can affect the regularity of our heartbeats. It can cause dizziness. It can cause lightheadedness. It can lead to fainting. We get neuropathic symptoms like increased carpal tunnel issues, tingling in our feet, tingling in our hands, electric shock sensation, and ultimately an increase in pressure, which leads to headaches and migraines. Ugh.
I don't even know how we keep track of all that.
right?
Okay, so here's the deal. When you have ADHD and you hit perimenopause, those hormone drops can make your heart and nervous system extra sensitive. Estrogen normally helps regulate blood pressure, heart rhythm, and even how steady your nervous system feels. So when estrogen dips, you might notice more palpitations, dizziness, tingling, headaches. And if you're on ADHD medication, that can add another layer. This isn't your imagination. No, your brain, heart, and hormones, they all talk to each other.
Right. My achy, breaky heart. So according to the British Heart Foundation, the hormonal changes during perimenopause can lead to cardiovascular changes because the fluctuations in hormones affect the heart's electrical system. And at least 50% of menopausal women experience issues like irregular heartbeat and heart palpitations, which can feel like either fluttering or pounding. And increased heart rates are sometimes experienced during hot flashes and can contribute to anxiety and feelings of panic. And then there's menopausal chest pain. These are often attributed to increased tension around the chest. So it has a lot of contributing factors like stress and anxiety.
And when your hormones start shifting in perimenopause, your heart can feel every bit of it. Estrogen normally keeps your heartbeat steady, your blood vessels relaxed, your stress response calm. And when your estrogen levels drop, you might notice flutters, racing heart, or even chest tightness. It's scary, but again, you're not imagining it. These changes are real, they're common, and deeply tied to your hormones. I haven't experienced any of these symptoms. The only time my heart races is during a panic attack.
Yeah.
The only time I notice my heart racing is
Yeah.
during a panic attack.
Well, I think I've mentioned in an earlier episode that when I'm awakened in the middle of the night from an impending hot flash, I wake up, it feels like a panic attack. I'm instantly alert and I'm overwhelmed with dread. I can hear and feel my heart beating in my ears. Then it starts to feel like it's pounding out of my chest. And that's usually my signal to toss off my blankets.
Yeah.
And then I go through this routine. So I'll usually turn towards the fan, turn the fan on, pull the hair up away from my neck, stick one of those little squishable pillows between my knees so I get optimal airflow from the cool air from the fan. And I have to settle in and swap out my pillow for a colder one. I keep like 4 on the bed. And I've not had any irregular heartbeats that I've noticed. And I haven't felt any pain or pressure around my chest or my heart, but I do a lot of like heart opening moves in my yoga. So I think that's not where I hold my tension.
Yeah, my mom didn't start having any of these symptoms until like this year, and she's 70.
Yeah.
Connected systems, compounded symptoms.
So syncope or fainting, dizziness, and then presyncope or lightheadedness can affect up to 35% of women in perimenopause. And once upon a time, fainting was so common that most households had fainting couches.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I always assumed that the fainting was from, they used to wear all that constricting and binding clothing. But when I started to think about it, there's been a lot of places that I worked where just as a safety feature, they would have sofas in the ladies' locker rooms or in the lounges or like in the sitting areas in the ladies' lavatories.
I had no idea that's what sofas were used for in the ladies' room.
Yeah, it's not just so we can sit around and gossip. It's in case a woman is feeling lightheaded or dizzy or needs to put her feet up.
I mean, I thought it was to hang out and gossip.
Right. I mean, that's usually what we do, right?
It's what I use them for.
Right. Fainting and dizziness, as well as lightheadedness, are usually the result of miscommunication between the brain systems. When blood flow to the brain is reduced, often due to dehydration or sometimes standing up too quickly, the brain sends the signal to lower that blood pressure, resulting in that swooning feeling. And if the body systems overreact, we can lose our legs and underneath us and fall down. Yeah, swooning, right? Yeah.
So, but if you've been feeling dizzy or lightheaded during perimenopause, you're not imagining it.
Right.
When estrogen drops, it can throw off your blood pressure, your inner ear, even your blood sugar, all the things that can help you stay steady. Those wobbly moments are common hormonal responses. I have yet to faint, but I have gotten lightheaded a few times.
Yeah. I've had some experience with like POTS type of symptoms. POTS is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I think Emily has had some episodes of POTS as well. Like feeling faint can be scary. Like if you don't realize what's going on quick enough to like get yourself into a safe posture, like sitting or laying down, you can find yourself waking up on the floor with possibly an injury or two.
Yeah.
And also I had that period of vertigo about 18 months ago, if you remember. It lasted for several months and like I just always felt dizzy and just disoriented, and sometimes I would lay down and close my eyes and it would not stop. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean that was probably related to hormones.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, I mean I experience all this stuff now and I'm going, wait a minute. Is that because of my hormone fluctuations? Now that we're doing all this research.
Yeah.
Like, holy smokes. Wired and misfired.
So electric shock sensation, or what Angel likes to call her fuzzy buzzies, as well as like tingling in your extremities, can be precursors to hot flashes, or sometimes they just happen by themselves. And they're generally harmless, or usually they're over fairly quickly. But that doesn't mean that they're not completely disarming or disruptive. They can be as gentle as like a humming or a vibratory feeling under your skin or around your head. But they can also be as discomforting as like the feeling of a rubber band snapping against your skin. And for those of you who had annoying little siblings or classmates, you might remember how frustrating that rubber band snap can feel. I've even read in a few places that some women experience this almost like the sensation of being tased.
I wouldn't know what that was though. Like I've never been tased, so I couldn't compare the two. But as estrogen fluctuates, nerve signaling and circulation get a little glitchy and your body feels it. It's unsettling, but it's a known hormone-driven symptom and you're not alone in it. So the fuzzy buzzies that I talk about all the time, I think they are auras and not electric shock sensation or tingling, mostly because it's usually accompanied by a deeper connection to like the surrounding energies, and I feel the tingling like throughout my whole body.
But I think the auras are actually a type of version of the electric shock syndrome. And I've talked about how I get that aura sensation before I have a hot flash. I don't always notice it at night, mostly because of being startled awake with panicky feelings. And this overrides my ability to notice any nuances. But like during the day, I've come to be pleasantly comforted by that early warning system. And I'm going to have to start noticing whether or not there's like a deeper connection to, energy. But I don't know, because like I've always been aware of like my other abilities, and it seems like maybe some of your nascent abilities are like just coming online or something. We're going to have to do an episode on neurodivergence and like other abilities that can manifest, because the brain is really freaking interesting.
I think there's a lot of people we can interview for this too.
Yeah.
I can think of like 5 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I think because I don't have the accompanying hot flashes or panic attacks, that I'm able to really feel those fuzzy buzzies, like the auras or the electric shock sensation, and really get into it. it feels to me like you've done mushrooms and you've been to the Schwitz. And so like, I felt this in the Schwitz kind of too, like where everything just kind of vibrates. Every cell in your body vibrates, or like a good orgasm. Right?
For those lucky enough to have them.
Lucky enough to have them. So it's just like this tingling. You can feel everything. You can feel the atoms in the couch or the bed that you're sitting or lying on. You can feel the particles in the air.
The Matrix?
Yeah, like you can feel the Matrix. You can watch the grass.
Are you sure you didn't do mushrooms before you came over?
No, I can't drive on mushrooms. But yeah, no, it's just like everything. It's very cool.
Yeah. Not tonight. I have a headache. So I can probably count on one hand how many headaches I've had in my life. I know, lucky me. But, I do get hot flashes, so don't be too jealous. But like I've always been a real hydration person. Like that's my push, is always, staying hydrated. So I don't get a lot of those triggers from the usual shifts that can cause a lot of problems with the signals around your cranium.
A lot of women have headaches just from dehydration.
Yeah. Well, often though, the other systems that we've been discussing, they go wonky, and the result can not just cause new headaches, it can intensify problems that you've already been dealing with. Yeah. And it stands to reason that with the increased stress, we're going to have a lot more tension in and around our heads. Like think about resting bitch face, right?
Just my face.
Sure, right. Just smile, honey. You're so pretty. Yeah, I know. But we're just angrier, so we're holding more tension in our faces. And, we usually carry the lion's share of responsibilities in our families. And if you're like us, if you're Gen X or a Zillennial, and you're in that sandwich generation, you're still taking care of the younger ones, and now you're taking care of aging parents. And those next, they're carrying the weight of the world.
And then we have hormonal swings, especially that sharp drop in estrogen. Like, I mean, all the hormones, right? But estrogen is a big one.
Yeah.
I know we keep talking about estrogen, but like progesterone, testosterone, all these play a role. But that sharp drop in estrogen can make headaches and migraines hit harder in perimenopause. Your brain is sensitive to those shifts, so the pain can spike even if you've managed it for years. It's frustrating, but it's a real predictable response to changing hormones. Now, this is where my hell lives, is the flipping headaches. I started experiencing migraines a few years ago. I know that they were cyclical. I didn't have them every month, but they were always like a couple days before my periods, like during that PMS stage and area in my cycle. This year I started experiencing continuous headaches. So like headaches every day, and then a migraine a couple days before my period, the same time it would before. But so I started that new progesterone a few weeks ago. The first week and a half was hell, but for the last 2 weeks I haven't experienced any headaches, and I'm sleeping better. I think it's starting to work. I'm excited.
I'm really happy to hear that. Hormone replacement therapy is working for you, and I'm not jealous.
Tell it to your face.
Right? Yeah, I really wish that I could, get that type of relief, or even any relief. And I can't tell you how frequently in the Reddits, I'll comment on something, and every time somebody will comment back to me, "Girl, you need to get on the HRT." And I've even started to preface comments with, I can't take hormones, I can't take SSRIs, and somebody will still always comment back, "You need to take the hormones." I wish I could.
I mean, it's all individualized, right? Follow your instincts, your gut, talk to your doctor. Yeah, figure out if it's right for you.
Yeah, and I haven't seen my gynecologist in a while, because I had my hysterectomy, so there's not much reason to go back and see her. But, I'm thinking, since a lot of new things have come on the market, I'm wondering if, she would have reached out she knows how bad it is for me, but maybe I need to reach out to her and say, hey, has any of the new stuff come on the market?
And even if she can't help you, find a woman's health provider and see if they say, they say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're through the VA though, so you can only, there's only a few doctors that you can.
Yeah, I'd have to pay out of pocket to go see another doctor.
I see.
Okay, but what does it all mean?
If you're noticing new or worsening heart symptoms, things like pain or tightness in your chest, pain between your shoulder blades, racing heart, irregular heartbeat, fainting, or dizziness, please check in with a doctor. Same for severe headaches, sudden tingling, or anything that feels off in a way that you can't explain. And if you're on ADHD medication and your heart symptoms change, that's another reason to get evaluated. Women with ADHD, autism, and other neurodivergence are often used to powering through, but you deserve care, clarity, and a team that takes your symptoms seriously.
Heart healthy lifestyle hacks. We're just going to keep beating the same drums over and over again. Primarily movement, right? Combine walking, swimming, and housework with at least 2 days of strength training to build the muscles and boost metabolism. Dietary swaps. We keep mentioning the Mediterranean diet. There's a reason for that, right? So either adopting a Mediterranean diet or a DASH diet, which is high in vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats. Swap red meat for fish and legumes. You can use olive oil instead of butter. Add berries to your cereal. Targeted nutrition. Aim for 30 different plants per week for better heart, muscle, and gut health.
I have a friend that will purposely, she goes to the grocery store and she'll find like a fruit or vegetable that's foreign to her and buy it. So I started doing it. It's kind of fun. Like you put dragon fruit in your smoothie, buy a dragon fruit. See if you actually like it. I don't.
It just doesn't have a flavor.
There's nothing.
But it has a lot of nutrition.
Yeah.
So, find ways to incorporate new foods and especially plants into your diet. Yeah. And then limiting stimulants. I know, right? Reducing or eliminating caffeine and alcohol to decrease the frequency of heart palpitations. And so, you don't have to punish yourself. Like maybe you switch from bulk coffee to like the really good coffee and just drink less of it, or switching from the big Costco size bottle of vodka to like a premium vodka, and then you don't have to drink as much.
Yeah, and then you have a better buzz and not a hangover the next day.
Right.
And it tastes better, really.
Yeah. So, you should eliminate it. But if you can't, just reduce it and buy better stuff. So prioritize sleep, because managing your sleep disruptions like night sweats and hot flashes will ensure quality rest, because poor sleep can affect your heart health.
Sleep is number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Time for a mindful minute. So a lot of the symptoms that we talked about today come with a set of warning signals, but the problem is we're often too busy with the million things, thoughts, tasks that our neurodivergent brains are constantly compiling to really take notice of these signals. So today we're going to go over a body scan exercise. And you can do this seated or lying down or even in a car, but not if you're driving.
So you know who told me about this the first time? It's my husband.
Holistic Mike?
Yeah, that's what he's known for, right? It's not what he's known for at all. But he told me about it one night when I was having trouble going to sleep. He's like, oh, just do this thing. And then I don't know how long after it was like in one of your yoga classes. I was like, oh, shit. He knows what he's talking about.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
He has his moments.
Right. So you should sit or lie comfortably. If you're sitting, lean back or use a cushion to support yourself. You can close your eyes, or you can bring your eyelashes close together. And this is just so that you can bring your attention inside, right? And then you can go from top to bottom or bottom to top. I usually start at the bottom and go to the top, because then I end with the brain. The brain is where all those signals are originated from.
Yeah.
And you want to start with like a really deep cleansing breath, because this signals to your brain and your body that you're going to do something restful. So if you start with your feet, you want to bring your attention to your feet. You can do it as detailed or as general as you want. You can go individual toes. You can go the whole foot. I like to start at the toes and maybe wiggle my toes a little bit and notice if there's any kind of sensations that you feel. You know, you want to notice if there's tension in the bottom of your foot. You might like rotate your ankles a few times. Notice if there's cracking or crinkling, you know, like do you need to increase your hydration? Do you need to add more healthy fats to your diet? You know, you want to like clench your muscles and release your muscles, and hopefully do that with like the associated breaths. So clench your muscles and take a deep breath in, and then relax those muscles and let the breath out. And just notice, where are you holding tension? Where does your body need attention? You know, you can work your way up to like your thighs and squeeze them in together and release them. You can squeeze your butt cheeks and release it. When you get to your belly, like take a really big belly breath and really bring your attention to your belly button. Like that's where you were attached to your first mother. And you know, notice if that brings up any kind of feelings or emotions when you think about your mother. When you get to your chest and your back, like take really deep breaths so you can feel the space between your ribs, check in with the space around your heart. When you move up to your throat, like this is where women carry a lot of our tension, you know, mostly because we're either holding back things that we want to say, or we're saying way too much that we should have been holding back.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is a really big choke point for women. Notice the tension that you feel in those shoulders and those necks, because you're carrying the weight of the world. When you get up to your face, you know, like scrunch your whole face and take a deep breath in and scrunch your whole face in. And then when you release that, let the breath out and make a noise like, you know, or do like, in my yoga classes, when we do dragon pose, I like to have everybody do a dragon breath, like,
that's my favorite.
Yeah. You know, like rest that resting bitch face, you know, and allow yourself to pay attention to like your whole scalp, the space behind your ears, all of that. And, you know, like you may feel so relaxed at the end of that, you want to go to sleep. So maybe you do your body scans laying down, you know, but either way, you know, go through these body scans from time to time and tune yourself, tune your attention and your intention to being aware of the signals in your body.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even realize where you're holding tension.
Right, or where you're like bumping and bruising yourself. You know, I noticed a bruise back here today when I was getting dressed, and I was like, how did I do that? Right? Because we're just not paying attention all the time. So just cultivating that ability to be aware and have awareness. It's a good thing. So that's all I have this week. How about you, Angel?
That's it for me. We'll meet you in the rage, hold you in the grace, and sit with you in everything in between.
And whenever you remember to, release that resting bitch face for the health of it. We'll see you next time. Bye.